Hey guys, what's up? It's Darkmech here with another gold challenge mode guide in the Prot Warrior no DK in the group series, and today we're in Iron Docks. Now this is probably one of the easier challenge modes even on a Prot Warrior. So getting into it, we're going to pull the first three packs, the two in front of us, the Padding Battle Master and the one around the corner. So I'm going to this wall to use it as line of sight. I'm going to pop a Mocking Banner down to pull everything, and then I'm going to Armor Pot, drop my Ravager, pop Last Stand, and Bro Storm my little heart out. These mobs I should say, sorry, English, do quite a bit of fucking damage, guys. So just be wary of that, especially once the Battle Master gets in. We were a little bit late getting him in, but he casts a Bro Storm and it does a fucking ass ton of damage. The Battle Master also cannot be stunned, so when he does his Bro Storm and whatnot, just sort of make sure you get out of the way. And we get through this pack quite clearly, but quite cleanly, sorry. But we do have quite a bit of DPS, so just make sure if you do need to, you do kite away. But otherwise, as you can see, take quite a bit of damage, and that's going through Enrage, Regen, Last Stand, and an Armor Pot. I have saved my shield wall though. A couple of mobs to be wary of in these packs also, apart from the Battle Master. The Incinerators, they'll put a dot on players. It's called Incendiary Slug. You can dispel it off if you need to, but it doesn't do a hell of a lot of damage. The Deadeyes will cast a thing called Leg Shot, which snares you in place. The Foot Soldiers do a charge and a demo shout, which can be interrupted. And the Technicians do explosive AoE and put pools of oil on the ground. If you stand in them and use an ability, you'll be stunned for 1 second, so just don't stand in the puddles. So once they're dead, we're going to go and pull this pack we're on now, which is Druna, the named mob, and her two friends, an Incinerator and a Foot Soldier. Now, if you've got a DK, pull Druna and just get them to grip the Incinerator to you. If you don't have a DK, which is the whole point of these groups, the Incinerator won't really move. So pull them and start running back to the entrance to force them to start moving, then clump them up and get them down. If you can, you just want to cleave off Druna and try and get everything down at about the same time. So once that one's done, mount up, and the tank is going to go around to this back bit here, and I'm going to pull these 4 mobs, not the Gorgon, pull these 4 and go into this next pack here. Now Peanut again is going to go and pull. There's a Technician over in the corner banging on some boxes, so Peanut's going to go and grab him, and we're going to get all this stuff down again. Now just be mindful, again, you're going to take quite a bit of damage in this pack. I've got shield wall up for this one, which is the reason I was saving it for. Again, a lot of damage in this pack, guys, so if you need to kite. You know, I spoke about in the other videos how awesome Prot Warriors are for mobility and kiting, so make the most of that. But as you can see, we've got really quite high DPS here, so we are just smashing this down, and we get through this pack again really clean. This first section is really clean for us. Now you can see the Siege Master just padding away there. That is perfect. We're going to mount up, we're going to run in, and we're going to the left, and we're going to pull this left line which we've just pulled. We're going around this cannon for line of sight once everyone gets their ass around here, and I'm going to use a Mocking Banner to try and gather it all up. Now this pack here, guys, is really nasty as well. It's just as dangerous as those first pulls. Main reason being it's got a Pit Warden in it. Now the Pit Warden does an ass ton of damage. Much like the Battle Master, he will do a Bro Storm as well, and you can just see how much damage I'm taking here. I've got Last Stand up, and I am absolutely melting. I end up dying. So quick battle res. Just be careful on this pack, guys. You get through that first section doesn't mean that you can sort of take your foot off. The damage is really high here, and there's that Blade Storm again, which is kind of just tearing chunks in me. So just be mindful of that. Again, though, just getting these guys down as quick as we can so we can get on to the first boss. The first boss in here, though, really shouldn't give you guys much trouble. So we're finishing up this last one. Jai is having a quick drink. Will go when he's about half mana. Now the first boss, Fleshrender Nutgar and his wolf Dreadfang. Here is where you're going to want to use your first heroism or drums, depending on what kind of group you're running. I'm getting a well-fed here while we're waiting for Jai to get mana and for the boss to come back. So for this boss, you want to focus Dreadfang. Like, you have to start off on Dreadfang anyway because Fleshrender's riding it. But even when Fleshrender jumps off, continue to focus Dreadfang down. Dreadfang doesn't do a hell of a lot of damage or really anything in this fight. He will occasionally cast a Savage Maul where he'll fixate on somebody and do damage to them for 6 seconds. And you just want to get him down as quick as you can, because any extra damage through this fight with the burning arrows and things like that is just a pain in the ass. You can see that burning arrows do come down from the sky, and they do quite a bit of fucking damage. Combined with if Dreadfang's on you and you're getting hit by that fire, you can be in a lot of trouble. Now you can see there, Reckless Provocation. That's an ability cast by Fleshrender. It is a big red bubble that goes around him. Now here is where being a Prot Warrior has a real advantage, because we can just Berserker Rage and continue to beat him through that shield. It means that we don't have to worry about accidentally hitting him, getting stunned in fire and perishing. Also, with the Shaman in the group, we managed to use a Tremor Totem to get through one. So there are a number of ways where you can continue just beating through that shield and not having to stop. And having 2 Warriors and the Shaman in the group was a massive advantage for once. So you really shouldn't have too much problem on this boss. Again, as I said, focus Dreadfang down, watch the shields. If you're obviously not on a Warrior, you do need to stop attacking, move from the Burning Arrows, and GG. So once he is down, I am going to mount up. I'm going to click all these hots off, as you can see, and I'm going to run past these Ogrons. The reason I'm clicking the hots off, guys, is because I want them to stick on me and not run straight to Jai. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this third one here because he's padding close. Somebody's going to go run in, jump in that first Iron Star there. We're going to group these 3 up, and we're going to roll a stone over them, or a star even, and they're dead. So now, here comes the big bit for you tanks, or whoever you elect to do this, but generally it's going to be the tank you elect to do this. Heal up, get to full health, and we're going to go, oh god, I can't fucking speak today. We're going to go for a run. So we're going all the way up the side here. This is the first time we did this. We've used that first Iron Star. We've rolled it over just to clear some of this stuff. Now the reason being is, in the last few weeks, this has become really buggy. What we used to do is just, we used to have 2 stars, we used to save them both, and we would run all the way up here like I'm doing now. I'm going to grab this pack and this Ogron, and I am going to run all the way back. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the Iron Star to kill them for our mob count. Now, what used to happen is, as you can see, all I'm pulling now is all we would get. But now what's happening is everything on this bottom level is starting to run towards us. And I probably shouldn't have grabbed that pack in the middle I just grabbed. That was probably dumb. But with the star we'd had was left in the middle, so it was just what I did. Now, anyway, what you're going to want to do is you want to make sure that you tag these mobs, and then what you're going to do is roll an Iron Star over the top of them like that. Now, you can see the Iron Star just hit all of them, and we still have a fuckload left alive. So that's bullshit. We get screwed here. But again, you can't do much about it, and it's most likely what's going to happen with this strat. So clean up just whatever you've got left over. As you can see, we've got quite large damage. My damage meter is obviously counting the Iron Stars that Drama rolled there. He's not really doing like fucking bazillion damage. So get them down as quick as you can, and then you're going to run up. So this was a huge waste of time, but for some reason this is what it's doing now. So every time you're running back, if you're getting more, just save a star to deal with it. It's just going to happen. So get them down, and then we're going to run, or we're going to mount up, and we're going to move up towards the Gauntlet. Now the Gauntlet, big thing when you are moving towards the Gauntlet, you can see Skolak up there, the top left of my screen, casting Cannon Fire. You want to watch wherever that Cannon Fire is going. Now we're actually really lucky here because it is going on the first half of the Gauntlet. So we're going to wait for it to go over to the other side, which is going now, and we are going to run into the first half of the Gauntlet. Now, first half of the Gauntlet is going to have 2 Deckhands, a Chainmaster, and a Technician, and we're also going to pull the Ogron across from us. Now, what you want to do here, and I was really shitty on positioning here, is you want to position them out so the cannon fire is hitting them. Basically, it's a huge advantage to getting through this section quick. Now, on a DK, it's fucking easy. You run out into the middle, you Gorfiends grasp everything, and you run to the other side of it. It's in perfect position. On the Warrior, as you can see at the start, I had a pretty shit time positioning him. I get them right the second time, but it's sort of too late. I already sort of lost us time by doing that. So just be wary of that, your positioning. Just watch out for these mobs too. The Deckhands, they're the guys that cast those axes on the ground. They do about 60k damage, so just watch out and you'll get a dot on you. The Chainmasters increase mobs' attack speed. The Technician's exactly the same as at the start, and this Ogron's just tank and spank, so don't really worry too much about him. Again though, you want to have him in the cannon fire. So once we've just waited for the cannons to go from that side, but again, I'm going to go on to the last half of the gauntlet, which is even worse when you don't have a DK. It's 1 Technician, 1 Battle Master, and 2 Flame Singers. Now, the Battle Master is exactly the same at the start. Again, you want to watch out for the Bro Storm. The Flame Singers, they don't move. So what we did was we had Jai go and Typhoon them out just to get them in cannon fire. On a DK again, run out Gorfiend's Grasp, GG. You're just going to have to make do if you don't have some kind of punt or a DK in your group. But again, we got through them fairly quickly. Watch for the fire, don't stand in the fire from the flames, and that is pretty much it. So once they're done, second boss, which is the little threesome of Ariok, Nisa, and Makog. Now here, this is pretty much just a ping pong fight, guys. It doesn't matter who you start on out of Ariok or Nisa. We started off on Nisa. And it really doesn't make any difference. You do want to try and kill Ariok first, though. The reason being is she casts an ability called Sanguinine Sphere. Now, this ability activates once one of the mobs gets low. It'll cast, it lasts 15 seconds, and if you break it, it heals everybody, and you are fucked. So make sure as soon as the Sanguinine Sphere comes up, you switch targets. And this is what I was talking about, bouncing from Ariok to Nisa, Nisa to Ariok. As soon as the sphere comes up, go to the one without it. Makog, he can just stand there. He really doesn't do fuck all. He'll do a Flaming Slash, which you just want to have him facing away from your group, and he'll charge off. He'll also do I don't know what they're called, Flaming Waves, Lava Sweep. There it is, good timing. The Lava Sweep, as you can see, is just big waves of fire, and you want to move out of the way. It's kind of that simple. So again, the big watch for is the Sanguinine Sphere, and just make sure you're switching. Ariok will also cast Blood Bolts. They really don't do much damage. You can spell reflect them when you've got them up, or you can interrupt them obviously when they're up as well, but they don't do a hell of a lot of damage. You can see bombs and traps get cast out from Nessa as well. Obviously, as we've learnt from this game, you don't want to stand in the bombs or the fire, so pretty obvious. So we've pretty much got Ariok down now, and then we're just going to finish off Nisa. We're not going to have to worry about any more spheres, so we'll get her down as quick as we can. Flaming Slash, moving out of the way of that one, and that is pretty much GG for this fight, and then Makog's just left. Now, what you want to do as soon as Nisa is down and you've got Makog left up, is you want to go pull the 2 padding mobs up there. Now, that's a Hunter and a Clefthoof. Now, we're really unlucky because they're padding all the way up there, and I can't very well run after them. I don't know if the boss would despawn, but, you know, as if you want to take any chances when you're in a challenge mode and you've got this far. So we unfortunately have to wait for them to pat back, and we lose a shitload of time there. We lose like 30 seconds. So that is a real bummer. So just watch where they are. If you've got somebody paying attention to where they are, and say Nisa's just about to die, pull them onto the fight, because Makog really does nothing. You can see my health is hardly moving here, and you could be killing those 2 adds and saving yourself a dickload of time. So you can see here, the Hunter's going to disengage and drop Caltrops on the ground. You don't want to stand in the Caltrops. You can grip him back or stun him when he does his disengage, so it's really nothing to worry about, and the Clefthoof's just got a fair bit of HP that you just want to get down as quick as possible. So again, obviously we could have saved ourselves all this time that we are killing these 2, which is a pain in the ass watching back, but nothing always goes perfectly in hindsight. It's always fantastic when you're watching a video. So once these guys are down, best part of the instance, we're going to mount up and we're going to go for a big suicide run, guys. So this is heaps quicker. This is why I love this way with the Iron Stars. So mount up and we're going to run all the way to the 3rd boss's room. Now here you need to have a plan, and we were kind of talking about it as we were going, which isn't the best thing. But what our plan was here is Cade was supposed to have self-res, which wasn't going to be a problem, and then we kind of got here, and Jai was like, oh, my battle res is down, and Cade was like, oh, my self res is down, and we were just like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. So what happened was Peanut was running over into the corner to get away from them. Jai was going to shadow meld and kind of led them right on top of Peanut. Then shadow melded, but didn't work. He gets dead. So thank fuck Peanut had a brain out of all of us and managed to survive. Just fucking terrible. Like, this is embarrassing. So Peanut gets his pet out, uses the battle res from his pet to res Jai, who then res Cade, and then they're resing one of us each. So things were pretty aggro in TeamSpeak by this time, I'll let you know. But you have to have a plan to do this. You have to have some kind of self-res for this strat to be able to work. So just make sure you know that DKs, raise ally glyphs amazing, obviously. If you're druids with battle res, shamans with Ankh, hunters with battle res pet, just make sure you've got something worked out. So we get through that. We're still here. We've got just under 5 minutes on the clock, and we're on the third boss, Osha. I just get well fed there, which I probably shouldn't have wasted time doing. Now we decide to use our heroism here on Osha rather than Skullock. It's just due to, this is a far more, in my opinion, a far more flat out DPS fight where you can stand and deliver, whereas on Skullock you get it broken up with the cannon barrage. So whatever your preference is though, guys, you do whatever works for you. But for us, we waste our hero here and we get Osha down as quick as we can. Now you notice twice in this encounter, Osha is going to break out adds. The first time it's going to be Wolves, which you can stun and just fucking smash down. The second one's going to be a Rykel, which you can again also stun. Now the Wolves, if you don't have a stun up, they fixate. So if you don't have a stun up, just get everyone to run in close, and that way you can smash the Wolves down without having to worry about chasing them around. You can see Osha will also do rending slashes where he runs forward and slashes the air. You just want to move out of the way of that. It's pretty simple. He'll also do this time to feed where he'll go and eat someone, and you can attack while you are being eaten. So don't think that that's just your time to sort of go AFK and not do anything. You can still attack to get him down. Now he's about to go and break out the Rykel. On this, again, you just want to CC it. It will do sort of spits of acid and put pools on the ground if you leave it up. And look, even that shouldn't really cause you a problem, but you obviously want to stun it any way that you can. And as soon as Osha goes down, the Rykel's going to despawn. So very, very simple. Get it down and then move up. So mount up, and then we're going on to our last boss. We got 3 minutes 10 on the clock, and we are running towards Skullock. I'm not actually sure what time we ended up pulling Skullock. I think this challenge mode was fairly close just due to the amount of fuck-ups we had on it. So let's say we're going to pull it at about 2 minutes 50, I reckon, by the time we end up pulling Skullock. Now with our strat here, we focus down Skullock and cleave off him to Kurama. Now the reason being, Kurama doesn't really do too much. If he's alive, he brostorms during the cannon barrage, but if you're getting hit by brostorm while the cannon barrage is going on, you've sort of got bigger problems that you probably need to address with yourself. He'll also leap around, so it's really not a problem having him up, but Skullock has a shitload of HP. That's the reason that we focus trying to get him down first. Now, the most important part of this is the Gron Smash Cannon Barrages, which is happening now. You need to use some kind of speed boost if you've got one to get to this first crate on the left. You can see here Cade's got his head up his ass and fucking dies. What you want to do is get to the first one on the left up there, and then you want to get onto Skullock as quick as you can. Now we had Peanut get up there with disengage through it and pull. Hunters are just awesome for that. So we only had the one lot of cannon barrage to hide from, which is really what you want to have if you're trying to get through this quickly. And as you saw, we didn't start this fight with a whole lot of time, so it was what we had to do. So again, we're just cleaving off Skullock. Skullock's at 30% now. We get one more cannon barrage through this fight, I think, which is pretty much perfect for gold. So just get him down as quick as you can. The damage will be quite high, tank, so just be wary of that. As you can see, I've only got last stand up left for a cooldown. I've been through shield wall and a pot and enrage regen from the damage. So again, warriors here, just I'm going to use heroic leap to get to this first one so I don't get hit. And again, Peanut charging away up there to get us only one cannon barrage. So as soon as that tick's finished, we're going to run up and we're going to get onto him. So really clean transitions through here. You do not want to be losing people due to retarded shit, guys. If you can't make that first box on the left, go to the first one on the right, and someone from your group is going to be able to get up there and pull. But it's as long as someone can. So there you go, we get gold with about 51 seconds to spare there in the end. I ripped myself off at the end there too. It was actually on that last cannon barrage, awesome heroic leap by Drama, intervene by me to him, and then charge to Skullock. So Don't want to rip myself off of any glory there. But that is it, guys. 51 seconds to spare on the gold. If you have any questions or anything like that, hit me up, and thank you very, very much for watching. Cheers.